Hi everybody, it's Samut with Mama Yoga's Wellness and Embrace Your Beauty Thick and Healthy. I've been sharing with all of my members and fans on my social media sites the journey that I've decided to undergo in terms of changing my own diet and my own regimen for increased vitality, just to make sure that my body is fit and is as strong as it can be. And so in the last 3 weeks, I've adopted what's known as the high-fat, low-carb, plant-based style nutrition diet. Or in other words, in other circles, it's called the ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet is primarily where you teach your body how to use its fat stores and fat that you may consume for energy, as opposed to using carbohydrates and glucose for energy, right? The theory is that the ketogenic or ketones within the body fuel the brain at a much more efficient way, and they keep the body, nice and lean, strong, and more healthy. Certainly, over this last 3 weeks, my whole energy has completely changed. Like, my brain is like awake, really. And I am, I'm very energized. I have to remind myself to eat, because 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I have not really had like a full plated meal from, 5 o'clock the day before or what have you, So the energy is really, really, really good and high, and I'm really enjoying the ketogenic diet. So I wanted to answer a few questions. Several people have sent messages to the Mama Yoga Wellness email bag in regards to the posts that I've made, right? So I'm just going to answer a couple of questions here. One woman who wrote, Samut, you look great. Thank you, darling. Samut, you look great. What are you doing? I am a 50-something woman, and I need to lose 45 pounds. Can you share with me your secrets, right? What are you eating? What are you not eating? Okay. So what I did was I took all of the sugary stuff out of my diet. No cookies, cakes, and pies. I like to call them the other vegetables. No cookies, cakes, and pies. Of course, no sugary drinks. I wasn't big on them anyway. I increased the amount of fat in my diet with coconut oil and, of course, avocados, the natural good saturated and monounsaturated fats. I increased my protein slightly. Like they say, you're supposed to have a lot of protein, but the studies that I'm reading say that a high fat, low carb diet does not necessarily mean that you're supposed to have so much protein, right? Where it's like 65% protein or some, huge number like that. So I'm learning, I'm doing my research, I'm studying, testing it out on myself, seeing what works for me, seeing what I like, what I don't like, what my body likes, what she doesn't like, and going from there. But the main thing is I cut the carbs out, the sugary foods, like I said, and the carbohydrates, particularly the starchy carbs, like pastas. Anybody who know me know I love bread. Breads, pastas, rice, potatoes, even sweet potatoes, even yams. I've cut those to a bare minimum. I think the last time I had rice was maybe a half a cup of rice a couple weeks ago, and that's on a refeed, which I'll get into that as these videos progress on in the coming weeks, right? So again, it's very low carbohydrates, right? And then teaching the body to pull her fat stores by not giving her an overload of carbohydrates to run as fuel. So what your body does is says, look, we need something to burn. You're running around here. You're doing all this stuff. We need something. And so my suggestion is to the body, by adopting this lifestyle, is, why don't you take some of this belly? Why don't you take some of this booty and burn that, honey? So That is what it is in a nutshell, right? Your body is burning its fat stores for energy as opposed to using glucose or sugar, carbohydrate, which equate to carbohydrates. Someone else asked me a question here. I'm going to ask, Samu, what is your primary fat source that you're using in your ketogenic diet? And I just shared belly and booty. That's the primary fat source. But in all seriousness, do your research, find out what works for you, play with it a little bit, you know, especially on a ketogenic diet. Many practitioners will say you're supposed to eliminate fruit from the diet, right? So in my reflective practice, I sat down and, you know, kind of did the same thing someone would consider a prayer about their course or their journey. And as clear as day, you know, I was, you know, kind of whispered to, don't let them people talk you out of apples. So for me, an apple works. Now, apple is like 35 grams of carbohydrates. It's big, you know, it's a huge chunk of carbohydrates. But the apple with its skin and its natural, you know, in its natural state, without any added sugar or anything, can go a long way in keeping the body fueled and energized and working with as a complement to your ketogenic diet state. So I may have an apple a day in half, so like one half in the morning, and if I feel, you know, early on in this lifestyle change, I was feeling a little sluggish. I have some posts up on my social media where I shared with you all that I was all sluggish and I thought it was going to be, I'm going to have to dupe my body out. You know, it's hard to change habits, but I used what worked for me. So I'm down just a mere 7 pounds, but I've lost 3 inches on my waistline, and I feel good. My energy's good. I'm up. I feel vital. And as I stated on one of my posts too, I'm a little charged up, if you know what I mean, just a little charged up, which is lovely. You know, that means that the hormonal energy is flowing, right? And that's what we want. We want to be vital. We want to be, you know, full of radiant life force and energy, no matter what the age is, right? And your diet is a key partner in that. So stay tuned. I'm going to share more and more and more. I'm going to stay on this eating plan, and it's a part of my lifestyle now, and I'll be answering questions and sharing my journey further on. Okay, you can like us on Facebook, of course, like Mama Yoga's Wellness on Twitter. If you have any questions, send it to mamayogawellness@gmail.com. Go on my site, mamayogaswellness.com. We're going to be doing a whole series around Embrace Your Beauty, the thick and healthy you know, offering that we have, and I got a new style of yoga coming out, y'all, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.